Welcome to the Martial Arts Psychosis podcast. Grab some coffee, protein shake, or your favorite steroids and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the Martial Arts Psychosis podcast. It's a great honor today to host one and only Dominik Akuma Zidov. Welcome, buddy. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, man. What's up?
Well, you know what? I was scrolling through the internet and I was looking for some people whom I think would be the right fit for this podcast, and your name just kept popping and popping. So I said, all right. Let's bring him in and let's see what he can say about everything. So there's for sure some people that are listening to this podcast that don't know anything about you. So can you tell us more about yourself and describe your Muay Thai path?
Yeah, I'm Zidov Akuma. I'm 36. I'm living currently in Bangkok. Was living 7 years in Samui, training and fighting in Lamai Muay Thai camp. And yeah, I living in Thailand now since 12 years. I moved from Zurich, Switzerland to Thailand to started my Muay Thai career here in the land of Muay Thai.
Awesome, man. And how many fights do you have?
I have 149 fights.
Holy shit. Nice. And what's your score so far? Do you know your score?
My score is 96 wins. And 96 wins and 53 losses. I'm not sure about that.
Awesome. Beautiful, man. Okay, so I'll start. Maybe people that don't even follow Muay Thai the way you and I are probably know about the famous show Contender Asia. Which was aired, well, 10 years ago, yeah, something like that. So tell us more about that experience. How did you get into that show in the first place?
Yeah, the Contender Asia was actually an idea of the American Contender Boxing, right? So Mark Barnett was interesting to do something in Asia. And my boss, Stefan Fox, the president of the Muay Thai Federation, came up with the idea something to do in Muay Thai, right? In Asia, because here it's very popular. And so they get the idea to build Contender Asia. And they choose 16 of the world's best fighters. Some like John Wayne Parr, Yot San Klein, Arupon, top names. And they wanted to make a reality show out of it, and they started with everything. And all the fighters, they was already in Singapore, and there was one guy, Arslan, Russian guy. He broke his arm in training just a few days before the shooting start, and they was looking for a replacement. And that's what they called Ole Larsen. He was at that time my manager when I moved to Thailand, and I was living in his gym in Legacy Gym. And he was injured, so he could not join either. So it's very crazy because we were sitting just next outside of the gym, next to the lake where we run every day, me and Ole, when he got the call. And they really say, oh, please try. They tried everything to get him on the show, and he said, hey, I can't. I just fought Andy Sauer in K1 Max, and I broke my foot, and I can't join the competition. And because 48 hours they had to start with the filming, they was really in a hurry and a little bit, I don't know how to say in English, but worry about the show would get delayed. And Ole said, hey, but you know what? I have a crazy Croatian sitting just next to me. Interesting something for you, you know. And I just hear how he answered few questions, like where is he from, how does he look like, and all. Like he was like, oh, he's full of tattoos, he's just out of jail, he will be perfect, and all kind of shit.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I think 24 hours later I was on the airplane on the way to Singapore.
Awesome, nice. That's a crazy story. So
yeah.
So it's how did you decide to move? So you were living in you're Croatian, but you moved to Switzerland, right? With your parents, I would assume.
Yes, yes, with my family.
Oh, okay. And then from Switzerland, you went to Thailand, right?
Yes, I've been before once already for holidays, so I knew a little bit about Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then I moved to Thailand.
All right. And how did you decide to make that transition to move to Thailand?
Yeah, I was in Zurich. How to say? I was a trouble kid already as young boy, right?
Okay.
I was always a rebel. I always did the opposite what I was told to do, and I never fit somehow in the Swiss system.
Mm-hmm.
Because my brother, I have a brother older. He's the perfect example to immigrants to integrate in the system,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's
Mm-hmm.
a perfect example. And I didn't want that. I didn't was on the same level. And I got always in trouble. I spent some time in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time when I got caught with shit and the judge put me in jail, after a few months, they let me out on probation. And they say, hey, you know what? We have enough of you. We catch you now a few times already. And if you're not going to stop, if we catch you one time more, you're going to go for a very long time in jail.
Okay.
So I get out of jail on probation, and I was sitting with my family and thinking, like, what is my next step? Gonna move to Slovenia, gonna move back to Croatia. There is no really future for me, you know, like,
Yeah.
I didn't see a future there. And my last decision was, you know what, I started with Muay Thai in Switzerland. I trained a little bit on my holiday trip in Thailand. I'm gonna move to Thailand and I'm gonna be a professional fighter.
Oh wow. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
It turned out well.
It did. I mean, I was a bit lucky, but yeah, on the end, it did, yeah.
All right. Nice. So now I'm interested. Obviously, so you never went to jail in Thailand?
No, no, no.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask you about the difference between Swiss jail and Thai jail because I've heard bad things about Thai jails.
Oh, I had one friend once. He was here in jail in Phuket, and yeah, that's a terrible thing to be in.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
All right. Okay, so tell me more about the Contender Asia, and if we have time in the end, I'll ask you more about the jail because I'm interested in that too. So how is it like to fight John Wayne Park? You lost in Contender Asia. You were
yeah,
eliminated by you won your first round and then you lost against John Wayne Park.
exactly.
And how is it like to fight John Wayne Park?
Huh. You have to see it like that. When I started with Muay Thai, I was quite old already, right? I started actually for fun to get some experience in how to punch people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you back in the day when you was interested in Muay Thai, there was names like Ramon Decker,
Mm-hmm.
John Wempar, Ole Larsen, and many more, right? Um, and if you know that you just had 17 fights and now you standing in the same ring with John Wempar, you know he's heavier than you, he's better than you, he has more experience than you. But it was actually, I was not nervous really because I know I didn't have nothing to lose against him, just to win, right? I knew that if I show an awesome fight and a good heart, that people gonna respect me as a fighter, and that was my real goal.
Okay, awesome. And like, have you felt in that fight something that you didn't feel before in terms of his strength and speed and power? Like, what's the difference between him and all of the other guys that you fought?
Yeah, I mean, John Wempar is a heavy puncher.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, his punch is powerful, really powerful. And the first time in the second round when he dropped me,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking for a second, now fuck that, I just gonna stay on the floor. That fucking hurts, you know.
I thought you were gonna stay down because it was a counter to left, if I'm not wrong, right?
No, I think it was.
Sure.
I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
sure.
but it was a counter punch, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah, and I
yeah.
think when he dropped you, I was like, holy fuck, I would definitely stay down. Fuck
Yeah,
this shit. Yeah.
he catched me perfect. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was his experience, you know. He catched me perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. And um, can you see him? When you read about John Wei Parr and when you watch his fights too, he is not like technically when he punches, like he will lower his arms. He's not really technically there, but he hits everyone, right? So can you see him telegraphing those punches while you're fighting him or not?
You know, I tell you the truth. Back then, I was too unexperienced to look for stuff like that. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
Now when I look at the fight, I did actually quite good in the first round. But I also knew that John Wayne didn't go full in the first round, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in the second round, I see the mistakes that I did and what he tried, because in the second round he comes straight away very powerful.
Yeah.
And I was trying to put pressure on him because I won't fight, you know. When I'm in the
Yeah.
ring, I won't fight, right? And I pressured him, and he perfectly counterpunched me, and from them I was dizzy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rest of the fight, even in the corner, you can hear Patch screaming at me and everything, you know. I was seeing him double,
Yeah.
you
Of
know.
course. Of course.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that is crazy. And I did recover a bit, but I was never really back. You know, that was just on the end was really the heart just keeping me coming up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. And yeah, I personally hate that feeling. And when I'm coaching fighters, if they get dropped or if they get rocked in any way, it's very very hard for them to physically return into the fight. Mentally, he's still in, and that's
Yeah,
what a lot of people don't understand when they're watching UFC, when they're watching fights. Mentally, you are in the fight. It's not about that. It's about your body not getting the signals. The signals in your brain are totally messed up.
yeah.
So that's the major problem people don't understand. And all right, so how is it like to live in a house like that, in that environment, fighting guys you know? So tell me more about that experience, like on a more human level.
I say like this, you know, before I went to the Contender House, I was watching the Ultimate Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
That was maybe just few years before the Contender started the Ultimate Fighter, and I was thinking, nice, that's a really cool concept, right? And then when they started with the Contender with Sylvester Stallone, the boxing,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, damn, that's some cool stuff. That's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I standing by myself in the Contender Asia with all these amazing fighters. You know, there was really no shitty fighter in the group, and I was there living and meeting them and learning them to know how they are as person. I mean, that was a experience I never will get somewhere else than what I get in the house.
Oh yeah, for sure. So what's the biggest lesson you've learned in the house?
The biggest lesson what I learned in the house is actually after my fight with John Par and after Rafik and John Par. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
after Rafik and John Par, because Rafik did really he did for what we expected. He was doing a crazy fight against John Par. It was a very entertaining fight.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to back down. He gave him everything he had, elbows from angles you never know, and that showed me that, you know, even if you maybe not the same level as your opponent, and you're giving everything you have, there is the chance to win. And that
Of
was
course.
like opening my eyes because I was so unexperienced, right? I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
saw John Parr and Rafik in the ring close 1 meter, and I was like, damn, like,
Yeah.
you know, like really into it. But after the fight, I was like, fuck, John Parr is beatable, you know, like
Yeah.
he's human after all. And
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that was the biggest lesson.
For sure. When you're saying that, I'm thinking about my experiences that I've seen in martial arts and that I've seen like in general, not only me fighting and competing, but just I mean in jiu-jitsu, in Muay Thai, in everything in life. I think that mental aspect is probably the most important thing of them all, because Yeah, and especially in full contact sports where the stress levels are so high, if you think you can't win, then you probably won't. You need to be 100% confident that you win, that you'll win. And that's why we go through the grueling fight camps and preparations, because you want to go through that hell before you enter the fight, so you know that nothing new can happen in the fight, right? So, and you want to be mentally ready as much as physically.
Oh yeah.
So that's super important. Not a lot of people understand that.
No.
Okay, so uh, tell me some of the stories that happened in the house that probably weren't on TV.
For sure, when I sneak out at night, like
Okay, I'm listening. Tell me a story.
and of course, how many people knew that or know I having a kid, 9-year-old kid, baby girl,
Okay.
and that was actually made and not made, but the mother of the kid I met in the contender house. She came watch the fight and everything. So
Oh, okay. So that's where the story started.
yes,
What
there
if?
where the story started, and then ended in Thailand. And there is my 9-year-old beautiful kid. Yeah, of course we did pranks. You
Okay.
know, we had to share. I think I'm not sure 3 or 4 showers in the toilet for 16 guys, and there was one big fridge with food, and we stole food of others who named their food, and just
Hmm.
like you have to see it like that. We was all grown men, but on the end of the day, we was 16 kids in a house.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking those questions, because I know. Like, can you imagine putting that? That's what I was thinking. Like, can you imagine putting 16 grown kids into a house and
Exactly.
give them gloves, food, and whatever they want to drink, and say, "Okay, guys, you can fight for months now. You don't have to do
Exactly.
anything, just fight." Awesome, awesome. I'd be thrilled. All right, so uh, how many? Okay, no, I was asking you about your fights. What's your favorite fight so far?
Of course, with John Wayne is one of my favorite fights.
Mm-hmm.
He's a legend of the sport. He's still fighting with 41.
The
If
guy's
I'm not.
crazy. The guy's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, and he's a crazy fucker. But respect,
Oh,
respect to
for
this.
sure, for sure. And
Um,
also he has an amazing personality from what I can see.
he's a very
What?
cool.
Yeah.
He's a very cool guy. Yes.
So yeah, so that's your favorite fight so far, or do you have any more?
Of course, I have a few fights, like my fight versus Fon Viva in Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
He was the best. I'm not 75, 74 kilo fighters in Cambodia, and I went there as a replacement, and I didn't have really long time to train. And he's very well known that he's a tough fucker, right? With
Mm-hmm.
elbows, everything. And I fought a war with him 5 rounds. I lost on points, but I went 5 rounds with him, like what nobody was expecting, live on Cambodian TV in front of I don't know how many million people. Right?
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And have you ever had the chance to spar Yotzenkleid when you were in the house?
We did a little bit, but it was more a playing around. It was not really a sparring because they ask us not really to spar each other. They say play with each other, but don't spar. We had Matsua Tam, one of the trainers, who is a very good fighter as well. We sparred with him a little bit, but they asked us not really to spar in the house.
Oh, okay. And what do you think about hard sparring and sparring in general? How do you do it?
Don't forget, I was living in Lamai in Koh Samui,
Hmm.
and I was living with Jabba for a few years.
Okay, all right.
And you can imagine he's a little angry Russian who loves to fight.
Yeah.
His heart is in fighting, right?
Hmm.
All his passion, all his love, and his heart is in fighting. So fighting and sparring was not a big difference for him at that time.
Hmm.
So there is sometimes, when you getting ready for a fight, maybe not too close to a fight, when you have a hard sparring and you get hit, in the face and you get, oh, you know, okay, get ready for that, you know, it's going to be like that, you know. I think that's all right, but stupid sparring with elbow and knee to the head and all this stuff, I think that's some stupid shit.
Yeah, I also have to agree. I think when I was just starting as as a young fighter too, when I was like 15 or 16, we would do hard sparrings only. That was the only thing. Just hard sparrings, full contact. We didn't care. And then, well, when I was kind of I went to the college and everything, so I kind of steered away from fighting, and then I started studying it and more as a coach. Then I've seen that hard sparrings can actually, if they're not timed properly, they can do more harm than good. And now I can see, like, really I can see some guys that I know, unfortunately, like, you can see how they change their personalities, like impulsive behavior, not very good in remembering stuff, and I can forget, like, my brain does not work as well as it did work, I don't know how many years ago. So do you feel any consequences from hard sparrings?
Actually, if I tell you the truth, no.
No?
Right now I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling like I don't forget stuff. Of course, I'm forgetting stuff if I smoke a joint sometimes. And,
for sure. Yeah.
And then I forget something. Sure. But actually, no, I'm feeling okay, and I'm actually very happy about that.
Yeah, that's. But you are one of the lucky ones. Like, not a lot of guys. So tell me more about that. Actually, I'm interested in that. Do you see that a lot in Thailand? Do you see brain damage guys? And
you know, I had before in my old camp in Koh Samui at Lamai Muay Thai, we had few trainers. They had a lot of fights, and they was a little bit older, and you see them limping because they had problems with the leg, because there was maybe like Knockwith Davy. Maybe the name says something to you. He's Golden Era. He fought Jerome Le Banner when he was 70 kilo, and Jerome Le Banner was 100 kilo in the K1 back in the days.
Oh, wow.
It's a very fight. So he was one of the trainers, and he's a legend. Like, he was in Thailand ranked forever, I think, top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw on him that from his brutal kicks and his manic kicking that he was hurt, right? Mm-hmm. You see that maybe more than brain damaging.
Yeah, so I was reading actually a little bit about that, and the whole Western MMA and kickboxing community is worried about that, and basically what the research says is that you don't even have to be knocked out, or you just have to take blows to the head on a regular basis, and they have to accumulate. So it's an accumulated damage, and there's a lot of guys that were never professional fighters. I was never a professional fighter, but that can feel the consequences of it, for sure. Some guys are luckier than the others, but for sure, and it's like what the doctors say is that sparrings are actually the worst, not the fight itself.
It is, and it's always also independent who is sparring. You know, if beginner sparring and they hit in the wrong time, wrong place, shit can happen. And
for sure,
I mean, I had this few months ago in the gym. I organizing here in Bangkok one time a year a DJ fight night, where I get DJs, local DJs, real DJs from here, 5 weeks to the gym, train them. And then I put a ring in the club, and they fight each other with big gloves, right?
Awesome.
It's a very cool concept, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right. And it was big fun. The first two, I did two edition already, and I wanted to do the third. And there was one guy, a DJ, who came to train, and we did the sparring, and he get hit a little bit wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after the sparring, he felt like he was a little bit dizzy, and I say, hey, you know what? Go to the hospital, please, you know, because you didn't get hard hit, but still, you know, I would like you to go to the hospital. And he went to the hospital, and the doctor told him like to don't spar for a while anymore. And then after a while, he did not sparring, and he came back, and he started training, and he feel dizzy and everything, you know. So he feel that, and after that, the doctor told him you better stop, because if you get wrong hits, maybe something bad could happen, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It is amazing how we're individually sensitive to stuff. Uh, as I said, I personally can feel some memory decline, but that can be also not due to punches. That can be due to stress or whatever. You never know because I never went to the doctor. But like for example, my injury, I have a neck injury. That's why I can't fight anymore. But it's like a minor thing. It can be like you just turned wrong, boom, your career is over, buddy, over. And what a lot of people don't understand is that there is a lot more fighters and martial arts practitioners that end their career before it even started, right? The only thing we can all see is the glory, right? We can't see those guys that tried and failed, right? So okay, so what's the worst thing about Thailand for you?
There is actually no really what is the worst thing, because you know in every country you have good and bad.
For sure.
I mean, Thailand is still considering as a third world country. But I mean, yeah, if I see the poor people, it's a little bit sad, you know, because it's such a huge population here, and you see this quite often. And yeah, that's a bit sad. But I mean, every country has the sad and the negative side on it.
For sure, for sure. So you're not fighting anymore. Why did you decide to stop fighting?
Yeah, I stopped fighting because I had a motorbike accident on Koh Samui.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
I was a hobby DJ.
Okay.
I'm still a hobby DJ. That's my hobby back in the days. I started that when I was a young teenager, and I was on the way back from a gig in Koh Samui back to home, and I drove at 4 in the morning to home, and some, I don't know who was it, but some guy crashed in me and I fell down, right? And as I fell down, I twisted my knee. And when I was on the floor, he stopped and he was like, I didn't do nothing. And he just drove away, right? And I was like, you motherfucker, right? And I wanted to follow him. And I stepped on my right leg and I just, like, I don't know how to say, like, so I feel it out.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's kind of limp. You can.
Yes, yeah. I fell down again, right? And like, fuck, my leg is broken. But then I look my leg and I say, there is nothing broken. What was that, right? And then everything was quite big, swollen, and I had to wait a few days. And then I make a, how you call it, MRI scan.
Yeah. And
they say, yeah, my ACL is quite bad. Is torn. You say torn?
Torn.
Yeah, torn. And I will need to have an operation and everything. And they say, oh, I need the operation very fast. And I was like, oh, you just want to make money, right? And scared and this and that. And I reported to the insurance, and the insurance said, oh, we don't believe you that you did this in a training or in a fight. So we don't gonna cover this.
Okay.
So, and they didn't want to cover that, and it was a big drama, and I will have to go in front of the judge, and that will cost so much money, and my chance to win is almost zero. And and then I had to decide, okay, I take money or I save money to operate my knee and start again, or I stop and start to be a trainer, coach, manager in this way, right?
All right.
Because the operation is very expensive.
How much is it?
I think the operation by itself is not that much. It's between $5,000 and $10,000.
Okay.
But then you stay in the hospital. Then you have. Then I'm out of work. I don't do nothing for a long time, and on the end of the day, that comes to $20,000 to $30,000, and
yeah,
I mean that's quite a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure. So how do you like coaching? What do you like about coaching?
I can torture the fighters when I was lazy. That's what I didn't do. They have to do. No, joke.
Yeah.
I love on coaching is I doing it with passion, you know, because I'm still loving the sport and I'm still really into the sport. I just can't really go watch fights because it makes me like, after the fights I feel like shitty. I want to fight, and it's always strange a little bit. But as a coach, I mean, you know, when you see your fighters coming to the training and they putting all effort in and they going to fight and they win, I mean, that's the best feeling as a coach you can get.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. And as a coach and as someone who can't fight anymore, I feel the exact same thing. So I'm coaching a guy and he wins or he loses, it doesn't really matter. But whenever I feel the atmosphere, whenever I feel the locker room and everything, it's probably the fire that will burn within us until the day we die, I guess, right? You'll always be a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, when I have a fighter who goes in the ring, I think I'm more nervous than himself.
Yeah.
You know, really, I'm standing there and I'm like really pissing in my jeans or whatever I'm wearing at that time. You know, like, damn. I had even one time my fighter Thiago, Brazilian boy, told me, say, "Hey, why are you so fucking nervous? Calm down, man." You know?
You're making him more nervous.
Yeah.
Yes. So I am not nervous. It's a different type of nerves.
Yes.
When I'm fighting, it's just like the adrenaline and the different type of fear. But when my guys are fighting, I'm like more worried because I can't control any. You can't control much, right?
Yeah.
And you know, okay, and I'm questioning myself. What if I developed the wrong strategy? What if I missed something in his preparations? It's not his fault. It's my fault. Right, and he trusted me, and if I missed something, it's my fault. That's on me. So and there's no going back. He can still control the situation. He can still probably pull it off. But for you, it's done. That whatever you did, that's as far as you can go. All right, and okay. So since we're on the subject of coaching now, so right now you are reopening your gym, or what's happening with your gym?
No, I moved a few years, I think 4 or 5 years now, from Koh Samui to Bangkok.
Okay.
With the next dream I had, opening my own gym. And we had a look, me and my business partner at that time, we had a look at a few gyms here in Bangkok, and we was very interested in one, but that didn't happen on the end. And I get a little bit in a life situation that I was not happy in, because I didn't know really people in Bangkok, and this situation was like a little bit, I really didn't like it at that moment. But then I knew Tolly, the guy, the owner of Elite Boxing, and I knew that he has a gym here in Bangkok, so I moved to his gym here in Bangkok and start like just training sometimes myself, sometimes being trainer, because they having the head coach trainer Gay. Mm-hmm. He's very famous in the Muay Thai business, and he's the head coach there. And I helped sometimes when they needed help, and that's how I get to Bangkok and started the gym here in Bangkok. And after a while, Tolly had different plans with the gym. He wanted to sell it, because he wanted to open Elite Boxing in Rio de Janeiro, because he moved to Rio at that time. And I didn't have the money to buy it at that time. So I was looking for investors. I could not find any investors who was really interested in taking over the gym. So I talked with a guy who was already few years in the gym training always, because he told me he will be interested in investing in a hotel. And I say, why you not fucking invest in the gym? Let's take over the gym. I help you with everything you need. And that's how it started, right? And first he took over only of the Muay Thai area of Elite Fight Club. And then he get the offer to taking over the fitness, over everything, over the whole 2,500 square meter area with pool and everything. And he said, you know what? I have an investor. Let's do that. And now we renovate the whole thing completely new, all new brand equipment, machines, CrossFit. Yeah,
Beautiful. I've seen the videos you're posting on your Facebook page. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can't fight anymore. I probably can't even train anymore. But I would just want to go there to chill out. I don't know, just lift weights and just be there. It looks amazing. All right, we'll come back to your gym more. But what I want to talk about, uh, so you as a fighter, so having 100 plus fights, what motivated you to keep going?
Yeah, in the beginning it was money
Okay,
because I can.
what was it
I
good money?
On the beginning for sure not. I mean, the first fight I did in Thailand was for maybe 500 baht, maybe 1,000 baht. That's
Mm-hmm.
15 to $30, you know. But I wanted to gain experience and I wanted to claim on top being the best, or at least trying to be the best, you know. And of course, after the contender, I was one of the most popular in the house, and then the offer came. But how I say on the beginning already, I was 67 kilo in the house, and their check weight was 73.5. So that was a huge, big difference.
Yeah.
And after the contender, people wanted to fight me in the contender weight. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to gain very fast a lot, and it
How,
was not really easy.
how did you gain weight?
I just fucking ate McDonald's.
Oh, okay, all right. Because if I was you, I would probably use steroids. I would just use some testosterone and gain muscle.
You know, I tell you the truth, I was thinking about that, and especially because you can get this here quite easy, you know, if
Oh,
you know.
anywhere, buddy. You can get it anywhere easily.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I always hear the stories that your balls getting small and your dick is getting small, you know, and that is not waking up, and I'm loving my friend down there. So
Oh, yeah.
I was like, nah, not really into that. Never, you know,
Yeah,
never.
you know what? I personally never tried, but I know I did spar a guy that was on testosterone. That's a huge difference. As I said in my previous podcast, that's a huge difference. That's like he weighs the same as I do, but he is like a superhuman. It's like the strength
Yeah,
that guy has. So I'm pulling an arm bar, and he just shakes me off like I'm a doll.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
yeah.
And you see why they're not legal. But all right, so I mean, I think that shrinking of the balls. I think if that's just if you're using too much. I guess
Uh,
I know a lot of guys that are using responsibly, and I don't know, their balls seem to be fine. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. You know how it is. You hear these stories from people,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't know if it's true or not, because I had friends they say it's not true, and I had friends that say it's true, you know, and I never checked. I say, hey, show me your balls, you know, like. So I was never sure about that, so I didn't want to really try it. But what I did is because of my knee, I took growth hormones.
Oh,
G-
and how was that experience for you?
It was it. I took it for 6 weeks. I think a little bit more, and it helped me like with building the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
For because I didn't have the operation yet, so my knee is holding actually everything just from the muscles, right?
Oh, okay. All right.
And it went very well. I built strong muscle, and I can kick now. Like, you know, it's no problem. I can kick. I can use my knee. I can knee, but I cannot put too much weight on the right
Makes
leg.
sense. Makes sense. All right, but the fact that you can kick is great because the rotation of the knee is what's causing the problem with people with the
Yeah,
ACL.
yeah,
So yeah, I've also had one buddy. He had a problem, I think, with his thumb, and he took some growth hormone, and he said it was great too.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
but you also have to know how to take it, and there's like, did you take just pure growth hormone, or what's the procedure? How did that look like?
I actually don't know because I went to a clinic here and I did it in the clinic.
Oh, so it's legal there.
It's not really legal, you know, but I mean there is a clinic for testosterone and everything. Like when you're aging, that
Oh,
you know, so you can go there and they really give you a cure. I don't know. different packages, and I don't know which one is. I think they have most legal, but they grow hormones. They offer them as well, because on the end of the day, then I have the control about how I take it, how much I take it, and
For sure.
I don't want to end up with a big hand, you know. So
Yeah, for sure. Or a tumor or something like that, because that's usually the problem with growth hormone.
Yeah.
All right. So is it expensive there?
I think 10 bottles, and that was for a month, was around $300 to $350.
I think that's more than doable. That's not very expensive.
It's okay. I think if you have something good, it's around $300 to $400.
Yeah, for sure, because that's not something you're taking all the time. That's something you're taking if you're injured and everything. Yeah, that's also an option I was considered for my back, but since I have a mechanical injury, I don't think that would help as much. I can give it a shot definitely and see. All right, so if what do you think actually should be the right motivation for a young fighter? Right kind of motivation. Like you said at the beginning, your motivation was money. So what took over as a motivator after that?
I mean, you know, money. I say money because the motivation was surviving.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a job. I came to Thailand with no. I broke up school. I changed schools many times. I never had to study work really. You know, I dropped out of work, and I had always like trouble like that. And what would I do in Thailand? You know, there was the only chance to fight and fight for money. So that what kept me going on. And of course, what kept me also going on was that my father told me that I'm gonna spend my little money that I had on hookers and come back very soon. You know.
Yeah.
And I said, fuck that. I don't want to do that. I really want to keep going. And yeah.
All right. So what do you think? I mean, as a coach, you can see that different perspective now. So what kind of motivation are you looking for in your fighters?
I wanna have fighters and people in my team that have a talent and they love the sport, but never had really the opportunity to had a chance to fight on the big stage, right? And because I know promoters and I have through all these years, I know many people, I have the chance to place fighters in many different promotions, right? And I mean, for me, it's the most beautiful thing is when I see a fighter of me signing or getting in a big promotion. I mean, that's the motivation that I have. I want to go with them till the end, till gold, you know. If they go there, I go with them. If they don't go there, I don't go with them, you know. I follow them. And that's the biggest motivation.
That's awesome. That's really something. Every coach should remember just being there for the fighters, like for better or for worse. Because I've seen too many goddamn coaches just being with you when you're successful, and then when you're not, they just discard you. Or if you get injured, they treat you as a pussy. They don't think you're really injured. And I've seen that too many times, especially in Croatia. And then they wonder why Croatian MMA is not on the level that it should be on, which I think it's slowly changing, but still. I think coach should be not an instructor, but a coach. There's a difference. When you're a coach, you're that guy's friend, you're that guy's brother. You need to be there for him. And when you're that guy's instructor, you're just teaching him how to fight. And quite frankly, a lot of people can do that. But being a coach, that's not something a lot of people can do. And that's why I really loved your answer. I think every coach should think like that. So what do you think if you could restart your career, what would you do differently?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
All right, awesome.
Will do exactly the same. Of course, maybe there will be small things like for a fight, I should not party the month. I should go to train, you know, get ready for the fight and take it maybe a little bit more serious. But no, actually nothing, because I, how to say, a dream came true, you know. I mean, how many millions of fighters we have around the world, they would love to be in my position. And I was lucky, but I made the best out of it, and I put everything I had in that. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would not do nothing different.
That's actually very inspiring, what you're saying, because I think a lot of people move through life with regrets. And like, if you ask me right now, what would you do differently about your career? I mean, I really didn't have a career because I was never a professional. I didn't never make it to that, but made it to that point because I got injured. But if you ask me, what would I do differently? I would have like 12 things that I would just off the bat could say, and I really loved your answer for that. And if you could give like a single piece of advice to the young fighters, what would it be?
Always believe in yourself.
Why do you think that's important?
Because if you don't believe in yourself, you are in the wrong business.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to be cocky, but I mean, did you ever see a fighter that doesn't believe in himself that's going to be successful?
Probably not. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, of course there is hard, there is training, there is a lot of factors that comes together. But on the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to go nowhere.
For sure. How do you think that if we have if you have a fighter that's talented but he doesn't believe in himself, do you think that can be trained?
Not trained, but motivated.
Okay, how?
I don't know. It's always independent of the character of the person. What I can say, I had an example with this guy Thiago, right? He was one of my fighters, and he was a very talented guy, Brazilian guy from the favela in Brazil, came to Malaysia. I met him there somewhere in the slums of Malaysia, and I took him to Koh Samui to come train there. And he was so talented, he was so strong. You can't believe that how strong this boy was, and he was not really, he was not really believing himself, right? And then he got a fight with Nongsai, and Nongsai is a very tough, really strong Thai that fought the best of the best, right? And I fixed him at the fight, and he had to fight with this guy, and he was like really like a little bit afraid and scared. Can he beat him? And I was the only one. Like everyone texted him, say, "Fuck, you crazy taking the fight. He's gonna kill you," And I was like the only one telling him the last night before he left. I was like, "Man, give a fuck what everybody says. If I not will believe in you, I will never send you to go fight this fight. So believe in yourself and get it done. If you win or lose, I'm gonna be proud of you just taking this fight." And he came back home with the victory, second round knockout. And I mean, that's something, you can't teach that, but you can motivate.
For sure. Yeah, that's awesome. So, and you're training fighters from from all over the world. And where do you think European fighters lack skill in?
Right now, at the moment?
Yeah.
There is some really tough European fighters at the moment.
Oh yeah.
They are good in everything, I mean, few years back there was of course the clinch and the elbows, but I think in the past few years the Europeans getting better in that. But you also see that the Thais learning in boxing, they don't just standing there, they also start to learn boxing, getting boxing coaches over. So it's difficult to say,
Yeah. And I think yeah, what you've said about Thais learning how to box, now you can see them taking angles, hitting from different angles. That's something you couldn't see before. They were just standing in front of each other and just banging each other, right? Now they're getting smarter, and I think that's actually great.
Great.
Yeah, but what I see when I was living in Europe, when I used to spar some Muay Thai guys, like there was strictly Muay Thai guys, they were just still standing there, and they were like, "No, we're traditional Muay Thai school," and I'm like, you know what? That's pretty stupid, because like you want to move, you want to make yourself not as hittable. You don't want to just stand there, right? So that's not very smart, and I'm glad that actually Thais are kind of picking up on that. and
Yeah.
integrating that into their Muay Thai. So okay, so let's come back to your school a little bit, to your new gym. So tell us more about it. Where is it? Where can people find more about it? Advertise yourself.
The school is called Elite Training Center Thailand. It's located on the famous Sukhumvit Road 30/1. We are on the 10th floor. We're having a huge pool. We're having sauna. We're having steam room. We're having a massage team. We're having a huge fitness area with over 50 machines. We're having a CrossFit functional trainings area. We're having a big Muay Thai area. Right now, we're building, in the next few hours, the MMA area should be done.
Nice.
I'm building an MMA team because we have trainer Gay, the head coach of the Muay Thai. He's going to take care of everything what has to do with Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take care a little bit of the MMA area because
good.
I like MMA. I fought MMA before, not many times, but I fought.
Oh, okay. Tell me more about that. Tell me, I'm super interested in that. Where did you fight? Do you have any MMA fights?
Yes, I have recorded, like official. I have 2 MMA fights, but I had a few smaller shows that doesn't count, right?
Okay.
But I fought in Art of War China. That was a very famous show there, where there was actually no rules. You foot stamps and everything, like Valetudo back in the days. And
nice.
yeah,
nice.
That was really like, that was my first fight. And then I fought in Evolution in Australia versus Adrian Pang, 1FC fighter right now. So these two my official recorded fights. I get beat up because I didn't have any clue, and that was 10 years ago, bro. You know, like MMA was at that time nothing really big interest for me, but I wanted to fight. I love to fight, so I just tried it, right?
All right, so you're taking care of MMA, and so how you're building an MMA team in Thailand. It's fascinating how MMA has become huge in Thailand. Usually people went to Thailand just to do Muay Thai. Now they're going to Thailand to do MMA as much as they're going to do Muay Thai, I would say.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
No, you have to see it like that. Thai people are smart in businesses. They like to make business. They like to make money. So what they have seen is, in Thailand, MMA still doesn't have a chance against Muay Thai, right? Muay Thai is still too popular, but it's picking up. You know, we're having few shows, Full Metal Dojo, some smaller shows in Phuket and stuff like that. So it's picking up slowly, and you see we have AKA Phuket, we have Tiger Muay Thai Phuket, where Valentina is training, Mark Hunt is training in AKA, you know, in Phuket sometimes. So, you know, it's, how to say, it's like with your iPhone. You're not going to use your iPhone 1 forever, so you need to upgrade.
For sure.
And I think that's what you need to do with your gyms as well. And that's what I sit down with our partners, with the gym and everything. And I say, hey guys, look, we're having a perfect facilities. We're having a great venue. We have everything what we needed. We don't have an MMA team. And they're like, yeah, but you know, we don't know no one. And I say, look, let me be in charge. That I know a few people. I'm going to ask them if they're interested to give classes. And that's how I get back together, and they say, hey, why we not build a proper pro MMA team for your gym? And I talked with my partner Cedric, and I say, hey, you know what, I have this offer. I have these American guys, they will be very interested to do a team, and I will be in charge, helping managing that. And he's like, hey, you know what, if it's going to be good for the gym and they happy, they good guys, why not? Let's give them a try, and let's build that MMA team.
For sure. And so when do you have your grand opening?
The grand opening is on the 22nd of February.
22nd of February. Okay, so you still have time for the people to look you up. And do you have any? And I've seen you have some type of discounts right now going on.
Yes, we're having discounts for the fitness. Like normally we charge 3,000 baht, and we're giving it now for 2,500. And we have also special discount when groups coming. Like if a group of fighters want to come or just people want to train, we're having discounts for groups. We don't just want to make money there. We want to build something. We want to build a big ass family. I want our MMA coaches having good offers because they can make some money. Our Muay Thai coaches traveling around the world doing seminars. So we try to be fair to everyone and to make. I want to build the best gym in Bangkok, the biggest and best gym in Bangkok with a good fight team, and that's actually all.
All right, awesome. And do you have a website people can look you up at?
Yes, the website is still. We're having a website, eliteboxing.tv. That's also where you can stream and buy pay-per-views of Kunlun fights, of Glory fights, of different organizations, right? So you can buy them there, and of course you can hook up there our gym, or on Instagram, Elite Training Center Thailand, Facebook, Elite Training Center Thailand, Zidov Akuma fan page, always updates there. So we're building our social media right now quite good.
All right, and I will definitely put all of those links into the podcast notes, so our listeners or our watchers can see those notes and just click, and that's the easier way to follow you guys. And personally, I think that once I do save up some money, I think you guys are my next destination. I love how everything looks. And like how you streamed it online and everything, it looks beautiful. So just probably the last question for me: who is, according to you, the best Muay Thai fighter today?
Today?
Yeah.
I will say Yotsanklai.
Yotsanklai?
Yeah.
I'll have to go with Senchai. Personally, I love his style. I love his flashy style. And
of course, I see Senchai every day when I go to run. His gym is not far from my home and our gym, and I see him quite often. And Senchai is a legend. How to say? I want to call him the Ronaldinho of Muay Thai.
For sure.
For sure. He's something special. But if you will put Senchai and Yotsanklai in the same ring, Yotsanklai will tear him apart.
Why do you think that?
Because Yotsanklai he is not human in the ring.
He is powerful. He has super powerful kicks.
He's southpaw.
Yeah.
And he knows how to use very simple combinations. You don't see him do fancy tricks and everything. Actually, if you fight him, you know what is he gonna do. You know it. But at the moment, you can do shit because he's so powerful, he's so self-confident, and he's just fucking follow you like a stalker, and he wanna kill you in the ring. I can tell you.
Nice.
He's just a different league.
What about Buakaw?
Buakaw is very good to fight foreigners. He's a very good name. He's a very talented fighter. Of course, he is top. But I don't know when it was his last fight against a real good Thai.
Yeah, actually, he's fighting Europeans a lot. That's true, or foreigners in general, not Europeans.
He never had a Lumpini belt. He was never regional NEM champion. He was never Channel 7 champion. He was K1 Max champion. He was WMC world champion. Everything what is big. But back home, he never actually won something really big.
Why do you think that's the case?
Because he lost.
Oh, okay. So he did compete, but he lost.
He fought in Lumpini. He was fighting in Lumpini, and he was good. Don't get me wrong, right? He was a very good top fighter. But it didn't get that far that he was champion in Lumpini.
Right, yeah. So that tells you a little bit about the European competition and I mean the foreigner competition and the Thai competition. Thais are still they're still on the top of the food chain, so to speak.
They are, they are. But I mean, there is few foreigner now ranked in Rajadamnern and in Lumpini Stadium. I mean, Damian Alamos. He was one of the first foreigner fighters ranked as #1 in Lumpini.
Mm-hmm.
And that not even Ramon Decker gets something like that, you know. I mean, he
Yeah.
was the first one, and there was one more Brazilian who was ranked in Rajadamnern as champion. I mean, you know, the foreigners started picking up, the Thai started picking up, and Buakau, he was very strong and very good back in the days, and his management was very smart because they started training him differently, you know,
Mm-hmm.
more foreigner style, more boxing, more K1 style, and that how, and you see he was very good in that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. All right, so you know what? With I think we went through all of the things that I wanted to ask you, even more. I think this was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. Do you have anything you want to mention in case I forgot something?
No, actually, everything. My book is gonna come out this year in
Oh
English.
yeah, tell us more about that. I didn't know
Yeah,
you were publishing a book.
I published already. I have a book published in German. My biography. Why did I move to Thailand? Why I was in jail? Why? Actually, the whole life story.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I came to Contender? Actually, all questions what you had today, you can read there, just a little bit more deep.
Okay.
Right now, we're having it only in English, but it's coming out. Sorry, in German,
In German,
but
yeah.
it's coming out in English this year. 1 second, wait.
Okay, I'm waiting.
That's the German version.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah,
So
called Bad Boy.
okay, wait a second. Now I have a couple of questions. I think we're finishing this, but now I have questions. All right. So first of all, why did you got the name Akuma?
Um, you know, I was always a little bit the devil in the family, and everybody told me like you are like the devil sometimes. Why you make always these troubles? And you know, Akuma was the Street Fighter character, and I loved him so much. So I just took over that, and I say, you know
Okay.
what, Zidov Akuma sounds sweet to me.
All right. But your first name is Dominik, right?
Dominik, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just to clarify that. So you told that and you reminded me about my question about the jail. So why did you go to jail in the first place? What did you do?
Um, yeah, that was like a story we did on a big rave called Street Parade in Zurich. It's like the Love Parade in Berlin.
Okay.
We did sell weed, and we changed as money. It was copy money, so we printed money, and we
Okay.
and that was the last time the situation why I had to go to jail, and that was the time when the judge say, hey, listen, you know, it's enough. You've been in jail because you stole a car. You've been in jail because you robbed this. I did a lot of shit, like really big shit. And yeah, but the biggest
Why?
was money.
Why did you do it? Why do you think you had that destructive energy inside of you?
I was bored, you know. I mean, school was boring for me. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
know, life for me is something different than going in school and listen to a teacher how much is two and two, you know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yes, of course we need to know that, but for me life is something different. I need to gain experience, you know. I was bored, and so even today when I'm bored, I just have shit in my head, you know, strange ideas how I can entertain myself, and that was back in the days even worse, you know.
Yeah, yeah. When you're especially when you're younger, now you have a kid, so that I would assume that impacts you a lot. You're a lot
Yes.
smarter. But when you're a kid, yeah, you just do stupid shit when you're bored. All right. So your book is coming out. It's going to be called Bad Boy 2.
No, it's going to be called, yeah, it's going to be called Bad Boy 2, but just
Uh-huh.
English version.
Okay. All right. And where can people buy it? Will it be on Amazon?
We don't know yet, but probably it's going to be on Amazon. We're going to get it for online downloads. But I think that my manager is going to let me know in the next few weeks what's going on with that.
Okay, all right. And you were so you were the one writing the book, or how does that work? Were you cooperating with a ghostwriter?
I was cooperating with my friend.
Okay.
Who wrote the book with me. I did some parts. He changed it some parts because he is a book writer. He know how to do it. And I'm just like Zidov, you know, who just put something on paper that doesn't make any sense, you know.
Yeah.
He's then the guy who make the sense in it.
Okay, all right, awesome, sounds good. So, when the book comes out even in German, but where can people buy your book in German? There's a lot of people that do speak German. Amazon. Okay,
yes.
we'll put the link to the Amazon on our interview notes. And again, thank you so much for doing this. I think this podcast was amazing. I had a tremendous amount of fun. And we should do this again once you do open your gym and once the book comes out, so we can kind of go over the news. For sure. Once again, thank you for doing this, and thank you for being our guest.
Thank you.
Okay, see you, man. Take care. Bye.
See you.